I want to talk to you about before we get into the ritual is what we can do as modern people living in a contemporary society with electric lights, with corporate jobs, with a life that does not at all line up with the cycles of nature. Because here's the thing, these rituals were celebrated by our ancestors who were living in tune with nature because they had to also. So much of their work was dependent on what was going on in our cosmos, where planet Earth is circling the sun. What are the temperatures? What is the harvest like? What is the weather like? So much was dependent, so much livelihood was dependent on what was going on on our planet, in our world. And that's just not what it's like anymore. We have our electric lights, we can turn them on 24/7. We have our all-night supermarkets if we're living in the city, so we can get food whenever we want pretty much. At the very worst, the stores are closed on a Sunday and we have to wait a maximum of 24 hours before we can meet our needs. And it's the same with our jobs. Most of people's jobs, working especially in the corporate world or even people running their own business, as the year gets darker, we enter into a particularly busy time of the year. So things have kind of turned upside down in many ways. During the harvest season, which was for our ancestors the most busy time of the year, the most work intensive in the Northern Hemisphere, we are enjoying the last couple of weeks of summer. And the tendency is to make as much as possible out of that time. Go on a last vacation, go to the park, relax a bit more before the busy time of the year, which used to be the time of conserving energy, begins. So in this modern life, we are in many ways living in opposition with what our cosmos, with what our seasons dictate. The thing is, though, our bodies, if we look at how long this body genetically has been attuned to nature and had to live with nature to survive versus the couple hundred years where it hasn't, then we are still very much affected by the seasons. So if we look at why we are doing these rituals, it's not just for pagans and witches and people seeking alternative spiritualities or, wanting this spiritual kick. It's for everyone to attune to these times of the year in order to learn, because that's what we can do now. And we're also at this turning point in our lives as humans on this planet. I mean, we have so many warnings right now that everything's going to shift in the next couple of decades. There's climate change, there's AI on the rise, there's so much happening that is causing insecurity and fear. So if you're looking for a reason as to why it's so important to practice these rituals at this time, it's to tune in and learn, gain wisdom. Now, the equinox, it's about endings. We have equal day and equal night in the Northern Hemisphere, and the night is going to take over, the dark. The days are going to get shorter. So what we have in terms of a lesson here is the wisdom of endings, the wisdom of the beginning of the ending, rather. And there is much to learn here because we go through this cycle in our lives no matter what. We might be on the biggest high right now. You might be watching this right now and you're celebrating a huge success and your life is in the season of summer and you feel outgoing outwards. Or you might be feeling just the beginnings of new things happening in your life. That is the nature of our modern world. And still, there will come a moment in your life, inevitable, because that's how life is, where the beginning of the end will meet you, whether in a small way or a big way. So, tuning into the ritual at this time when it is in alignment with our cosmos, with the season, is a vital time to actually receive the most out of the lessons and reflect on what we can learn. So without further ado, let's get into the ritual. Take a deep breath. Let's move. You want to find a comfortable seated position, though you could also do this lying down or standing up. My instruction will assume that you are sitting, so adjust as necessary. It is a simple ritual, so you just need a couple minutes of time and to be undisturbed. Very important, because we want to go in, we want to reflect. So finding this comfortable seated position, you might want to lay out a candle or light some incense or play some meditative music if that helps you tune out the day-to-day humdrum better and get into a ritualistic mindset. And take a few deep breaths. As you breathe, move your body a little bit and see where you find alignment, something between relaxation and tension. You will want, ideally, depending on what your body is able to do, have a somewhat straight back, though you can lean back if you like. And again, adjust as your body needs. You are your greatest carrier of wisdom. You know your body and your mind and your soul better than anyone else. And now inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Release any tension on every exhale. Breathe out any repeating thoughts. Breathe out any sense of time. And allow yourself to fall into a place of timelessness. For that's what ritual space is. It is the liminal. It is the infinite. It is the place where everything is possible. And if you haven't already, close your eyes. Feel the earth beneath you, the pull of gravity. Notice the stars above you, whether it is night or day. Their light is there, shimmering, beckoning, inspiring. And take a few deep breaths in your center. Where do you feel your center right now? If you feel a little bit off center, breathe the center back into center. So into your heart, your solar plexus, or wherever else feels most supportive to you right now. And then open your mind, your awareness, and your senses, all your physical senses and your other than mysterious senses, your intuition. Open it out into what is happening in the world right now on this day, where night and day are equal in length and strength. It's a moment of perfect balance. It is a threshold, a crossroads. It is where one thing ends, one moment in time ends. In this case, summer, and another one begins. In this case, winter and fall. It's the beginning of the end. From now on, moving forward, the days will become shorter and darker. The weather will cool down, and we will see and experience decay and endings all around us in the world. The leaves of trees will drop. Our lives will move inside. Plants will die, waiting for rebirth. Feel into what this moment in time means for you and what it signifies. And on the next step of the ritual, you want to bring this awareness into your body. Wise ones of all ages knew and still know that what is in the microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm and vice versa. What is happening in the world, on this planet, in our cosmos, is happening in our bodies and vice versa. So feel the perfect balance of night and day, of brightness and darkness, of life and death, of beginnings and endings in your body. With the knowledge and the foresight that it is the darkness and the death and the decay that will gain in strength moving forward. You might feel this as a line through your center, and one half of your body filled with light and the wisdom of life, and the other half of your body filled with darkness and the wisdom of death. You might notice some fear and apprehension, which is perfectly normal. After all, not too long ago, for our ancestors, this time of the year could mean the death of people. The body remembers, and even now, endings can feel a little disconcerting. Change requires us to adapt. Yet in the darkness, we find the wisdom and the magic of rebirth and the seeds of new life growing where they cannot be seen. Breathe into this and take note of any lessons, pieces of wisdom, random thoughts that come into mind. You may want to write them down or record them. And pause this video if you need a little more time. And then take a moment to turn to the light, to the summer. What a journey it has been. This can also be a period of your life that felt like light and summer. Take a moment to give your thanks. You might choose to bow in gratitude, quite literally. You might speak out loud, thank you. Thank you for the wisdom, thank you for the life, thank you for the joy, whatever comes to mind, or think it. And then with a deep breath, rising from the earth, inhaling from the earth, inhaling through your body, and exhaling out of every pore of your body. Turn to the dark, this place of wisdom and mystery, the ending that holds the seed of new beginnings. Turn to the dark. And when you're ready, take the first step into that time of the year. Feel what that signifies to you. How can you hold yourself? How can you tend to yourself and your community in the moments, not just at this time of the year, but any moment when it's the beginning of an ending? For there are many. Listen and notice what arises. The wisdom is already in you. If you need more time, pause the video here. And now take a deep breath. Stretch and exhale out. Bring yourself back with a little sound. You might snap your finger, clap your hands, wiggle and shake, and come back to the everyday. What have you learned? What have you discovered? And how do you feel after spending time in timelessness and ritual space? Remember this, and may it invite you to come back into ritual often, for here we can be nourished and our cups can be filled. And instead of being in the day-to-day humdrum, we can be in the big picture of things, zoom out and find peace and the wisdom that we need. Thanks for making magic with me.